Once again, here I am with sales training legend Mick McCormick from McCormick Training. And it's a really exciting one today because we're going to talk about that hidden gem that might be sitting in the far corner of your office, quietly, diligently doing their work. And for all you know, they could turn out to be one of the best salespeople you've ever seen. So how do you know if that hidden gem is in your office right now? Are they in your company somewhere? That is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, before we begin, I just want to clarify that we've talked in the past about how you can take your employees and turn them into lead generators. In other words, how they can support the sales process without really doing much work. They just kind of donate their LinkedIn profile to the cause. And that's great and it's exciting. But today we're going to talk about the possibility that maybe that employee could turn out to be that hidden sales gem. Mick McCormick, are you excited to have this conversation today?
Scott, I'm terribly excited. And once again, thank you for inviting me to share our ideas with you and everybody who's going to be listening into this discussion. I'm terribly excited because I know that what you've exposed here, what you've exposed through your thought process and in connecting with me to share my ideas, it's something that most definitely most companies have not taken into consideration nearly enough in the past, Scott. So thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Oh, absolutely. So Mick, let's begin. It's tough times. It's always tough times. Employees are looking for ways to add value. Bosses are looking for ways for employees to add value. And one of the greatest things that they could do is uncover hidden potential. Now, it's not always the case that that hidden potential is sales, but what's the first step? How do you even begin to think about whether one of your employees could actually be fit for a role in sales?
Well, Scott, that's such a great question. And from my side, first of all, if I can just mention that the sad thing is that prior to what has happened in the world this year, prior to this, I believe that leaders and business owners haven't paid enough attention to building a sales and customer experience culture within their organization. Now, because of that, there have been, and there still are, and always will be, hidden gems in your organization, okay, that can be turned into real brand ambassadors for the organization. And brand ambassadors in such a way that we're using the talent and we're using the potential that is sitting right there in our organization, that we don't have to go out into the marketplace hunting for people that we don't know, hunting for people that always give us a great story about how good they are and how professional they are and how committed they are and how energized they are and how inspired they are. And we hear all these great things. And then how many of those people get employed because they've been good? They've been good sellers in that respect. And then the owners of the business and other people get disappointed. So the exciting thing for me, Scott, is so many organizations have actually got this talent and potential sitting in their offices. Now, what is the advantage, okay, of generating a new mindset, generating a new level of possibility within your organization for people that you've already got, okay, to start as sales agents, we can call them lead generators, whatever. But how do we, or what's the advantage of using people inside?
Well, that's my question, Mick. If I could just, that is the essence. So business owners and sales managers, sales directors, leaders in business are going to watch this. That is the question we all ask ourselves, like, why should we do this? Why should we care? Like we know it's there. Is it too much work? Like we hear your energy and enthusiasm and we agree with you, but we don't even know where to begin or why.
So the first benefit, of the obvious benefit that you're going to get from taking this route going forward in exploring what talent and potential you've got from a sales perspective within, is first of all, people that are working for you, if they're the right people on the bus, they've already proven themselves. So you don't have to have this doubt. Is this person going to be good or bad? You already know. You already know from their behavior, their commitment, etc., and so on. The second, and this is very important, the second cool thing is they already understand how your business works. Okay, they know what your company does. They know what you're making if you're making stuff in your organization. They know why you're making it. They know what you are selling. Okay, if you're selling a product that you're buying from outside, they know the products. They know where those are going. So the second advantage is they know what the company does. And the third thing is that they know how the company operates within the organization. So the good news then is, through this understanding of what the company does and how it does it and why it does it and so on, they've already bought into your company culture. Okay, so they are also, through that process, they're also proud of the organization. They like who they represent. They're proud of the organization. And of course, they want to see their company go to new heights because they've been there. They've been involved. They're a team member. So that's the first big one. We're taking the risk. We're taking the risk out of employing somebody that we actually don't know.
Okay.
No matter how good their CV is or how well they come across.
I love it. So Mick, you've definitely convinced me. The tick boxes that you've mentioned there, they know the product, they know the company, they've established themselves. You don't have to go through this rigmarole again. I get it. Now, I want to talk about the word you just mentioned, risk, because this for me is what scares leaders in business and business owners for taking that next step. They are scared that they're going to go, Sally Ann, you're going to make a phenomenal salesperson. Come, let's get your training. Let's invest in you. And Sally Ann goes, okay. And then it turns out to be a complete disaster. How do we take away and eliminate that risk?
What a great question. And here it is, okay, in our opinion, Scott. This is where leadership comes in. Now let's look at the classic definition of leadership. Okay, there are lots of definitions of leadership, but the classic definition of business leadership is the following. A great leader is a person who has the passion, first of all, and the desire to help other people to grow and to develop to become the best they can be. Now, what you've alluded to is that a lot of the people in the company actually don't know that they have sales potential. So one of the passions and desires, okay, that leaders should have is to identify amongst the team who's got the talent, who's got the potential, and then get those people face to face and spend some time with them, not selling them on something that they're not sure of, but identifying with that person why the leader has chosen to actually have the conversation on becoming a good salesperson in the first place, that the leader demonstrates that they've got absolute confidence in that person that they can do the job. We always say that a good start to develop somebody to become the best they can be is to give them a 10. So if I was having a chat to you, Scott, and you'd never sold before, but you were in my planning department and you'd shown the commitment, the energy and the enthusiasm and all those good things that salespeople should have, the first thing that I would say to you is, Scott, you know what? I really honestly believe in you. You can't appreciate how much I and the company believes in you. Why? Why, Mick? Because we know that you're committed. We've seen it in your behavior. We've seen it in your energy. We've seen it in your enthusiasm. But have you ever thought, Scott, where this enthusiasm and passion and energy of yours is going? and whether you're channeling it in the right direction. And the direction for you, Scott, is to channel that energy and that inspiration and so on helping us to sell more in this company. Wow, Mick, I'd never thought of this. I'd never thought of this in that way. So once the potential and the talent has been discovered and it's been agreed upon, so you've got to get the buy-in first to get that person excited. The next thing is, okay, is that we've got to start developing. We've got to start developing that potential. And this is where so many companies come short, Scott. Leaders just don't have the time, or they think they don't have the time, or they don't make the time because they're so busy doing stuff. So this is where leadership, okay, really comes in. And guys, okay, what I'm sharing with all of you here is we need to put our people, these potential sellers of ours, these potential brand ambassadors of ours, we need to put together some really structured, strategic, effective training, coupled with motivation and coaching. Now, coaching is a completely different topic all on its own. I could spend a whole day, 2 days just on this topic. But at the end of the day, what we're encouraging companies to do is to say, hey, we don't have to look outside. That's a risk. Let's look inside. Let's start discovering. And when we've discovered it, and when we've got the excitement and buy-in from those potential sellers, now let's start motivating them. Let's start energizing. Let's start inspiring. And above all, let's start training those people to become ultra high performers. And, you know, we've got to use those words when we're talking to people. You can become an ultra high performer. How would you feel if you were an ultra high performer? Where would this take you in your career? Where would this take you monetary wise, etc., etc.? And people are sitting back saying, wow, man, I've never thought of this. And now you're exposing something to me that I could become essentially unbelievably good at. That's an ultra high performer.
Mick,
so
just to stop for a second there, because
the fundamentals,
this is amazing, and I love everything you say, and you know that, and it's you're inspiring me, and just like leaders will inspire, you know, those amongst them to become great achievers, great salespeople, etc. To finish off, I just want you to talk us through. Once again, it goes back to the risk element. This happens a lot, and you bring in a trainer, or you bring in a coach, or leaders will sit in front of their staff, and the staff go onto this peak and they get onto this high and go, yeah, I feel like an ultra high achiever. And then it just dissipates and starts to disappear, and they go back again. How do you, I mean, once again, I'm thinking about Sally in the corner there, who could be an absolute hidden gem, could be an amazing salesperson. Sit down with Sally, talk about how great she is. She's valuable to the company. We really appreciate her. She can be so amazing. We build her up and we get the buy-in. She's got to now convince, you know, her husband, and that there could be a career change. Her husband's going, whoa, hang on a second. And slowly but surely that starts to wane. How do you maintain that? What do you have to do, and how quickly do you have to do it to say, Sally Ann, this is why we're committing to you?
Okay, what a wonderful question. So let's see what's missing in the market. And I'm going to give you a practical example. We're involved with a company, and we have been for the last 8 years now. We're involved with a company that in their organization, they have what they call lead generators. Now, these lead generators, and I'm going to do this quickly, obviously, because we're running out of time. These lead generators, their responsibility is to secure appointments for the salespeople. A great idea, because salespeople need to be out selling and having meetings. So if we can get somebody or a team of people to generate the appointments, how great would that be? And that's what they've got. So anyway, we're about to start a training development program for the lead generators. We've already doing the salespeople and the leaders. Now it's the lead generators' turn. So I'm sitting there with the managers and I'm saying, well, how are your lead generators? No, the same question came through, some good, some bad. So I asked the manager, so give me an example of one bad person. And he says, Fiona. So I say, why is Fiona bad? No, Fiona's useless. That's exact words that this manager, Fiona's useless. I said, why? So he said, well, let me give you an example, Mick. all of our lead generators are expected to do 1,000 calls a month, 1,000 calls a month, okay? And out of that, to generate a minimum of 100 appointments. And that's not easy, not in these difficult times anyway.
Agreed.
So I said, yeah. And he said, well, Fiona, okay, is averaging about 17 appointments. I said, wow, she sounds useless, but are you sure? Have you really taken the time and effort to discover what it is that is now challenging her and where her future potential is? So, you know, they hummed and hawed, but I said, I'll tell you what we'll do. Give Fiona to us. Give Fiona to us for a month. And we will do some one-on-one coaching, with Fiona 3 times a week for an hour, a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. So for that month, we'll spend 12 hours one-on-one with Fiona, coaching her on lead generation. So Fiona comes and she gets very excited because she doesn't like the fact that she's failing. And so we sat with Fiona on the first, I'll never forget, on the first session. And we said to Fiona, how are you feeling? And she just burst into tears. And we said, that's okay. It's understandable. Why are you so upset? You know what she said? Because I suck. I'm useless at this. I'm not hitting my target. I'm feeling bad, etc. And then we started now delving into where Fiona's mind was, where her energy was going, where her focus was going. And you know where it was going? It was going on everything but what she was supposed to achieve at work. And you know what that smacks of, Scott? It smacks of a lack of attention from the leader. It smacks of a lack of motivation, a lack of inspiration, and a lack of understanding how to get the best out of people. So how do you maintain the level of motivation, inspiration, once you found it, once you found those gems in your team and the organization? By ongoing, structured, professional, effective coaching and mentoring. And leaders can only do that if they've got the trust and the respect from the people that they're going to engage with. So it's a package, But the point is, there are so many companies out there, Scott, that have got these gems sitting there within their organization. They're not taking advantage of them, and so they're taking the risk of employing outside, and it's one failure after the next. I mean, it's just one disappointment after the next. And there are many reasons for that as well. But the biggest opportunity we have right now is the topic that we've spoken about today. How many potentially great salespeople have you got in your warehouse, in your finance department, in your admin department, in your marketing department? How many gems have you got sitting there that are waiting to be developed? And that's the exciting thing.
Whew. Mick, I have been hanging on every single word you've said. It's just been phenomenal. Again, love working with you. For you guys listening to this, sure. I mean, come to madge3.com, McCormick Training, Mick McCormick from McCormick Training. This is what we're here to do. Inspire those leaders, find those hidden gems, get them going, get them supportive, and get them supporting the business. Mick, I don't know what to say other than thank you, and I cannot wait for our next interview.
So, Scott, again, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's wonderful being with you. I love these interventions, and hopefully it's adding value to the business world out there. I certainly hope it is. And best wishes to everybody going forward, because, yeah, we need those wishes. It's tough out there. It's going to be as tough, if not tougher than ever before. So let's take advantage. Let's take advantage of what we've got in our companies. So thank you, Scott. It's been great to be with you again. Thanks for the opportunity.